Today's show is all about PPA loans, compliance, forgiveness, and should be of special interest to small businesses. My guest today has been a passionate about helping small business owners and busy professionals with their tax needs. In addition to being a CPA, she has a master's in taxation and over 20 years of experience in the tax field. Helping those early in their career is very important to her. And she has been an adjunct professor at Widener University and a member of Monmouth University's Business Council. So, without further ado, let's welcome Suzanne Barba, the CPA.
Thank you, Bipin. Thank you. So happy to be here again, right? This is a great forum.
Suzanne, you were guest number 3 when we started the show at the beginning of pandemic last year.
Wow.
And today is your appearance number 3. How about that?
How about that? How about that? So that's great, right? So much has happened in the since the pandemic started, and at least from a tax perspective, continues to change. So I'm happy to be here and to share, what I know, right, with your listeners.
And you've been providing a lot of valuable information, a lot of guidance to our citizens, our residents, and business owners. So,
yeah.
PPP loan, I'm sorry.
PPP, right? PPP. Tongue twister.
I put PPA there, I'm sorry. PPP loans have been a godsend to many small businesses at the beginning of the pandemic. So why don't you give our viewers a brief introduction about what PPP loans are and how they were supposed to benefit using those PPP loans, compliance, and how they can maybe get to keep some of them.
Wow. Yeah, that's the beauty, right, of a PPP loan. It's fully forgivable, meaning that it's like free money. And who doesn't like free money? Unfortunately, so there were 2 rounds of PPP loans, and it came about, as a result of the pandemic. There was just not enough commerce going on so that businesses could continue to support themselves, keep their operations going, keep their employees employed. The idea of a PPP, it was there, whether you're self-employed, say you're a realtor and you're, a self-employed person, or you have a big, relatively big corporation. The money was there for the asking. You just had to apply, and you probably had to apply through a bank. You didn't go directly. It was offered by the Small Business Administration, and you went through your bank or another provider to apply for a loan. And the loan was based on your receipts. So how much money did you earn, or your net income? There were 2 different tests you could use. So it was a great opportunity. The first time around, I will tell you, the feedback was that the money went to so many large companies and did not help small companies, right, or individuals who were self-employed. So the second round, SBA tightened its requirements. So this time around, the PPP money was really aimed at small businesses. Myself, I will tell you, there's at least 20 clients and colleagues that I helped through the process. As a CPA, I was able to get a login on their behalf. Uploaded their information, I worked with 2 different banks, and I will give a shout out to First Resource Bank and National Bank of Malvern, 2 great partners in the PPP process and even afterwards. So helping these, clients and colleagues get the money, which is wonderful. Now, right, you got the money. Now you want to make sure you don't have to pay it back. So the PPP loans were for specific reasons. You could use it for salaries. You could use it for, salaries and wages. You could use it for rent. And then, since there were two rounds, if you were on your second round, you could also use it for certain operating expenses.
Right, right.
Right. But
Mhm.
when you applied, you said, I'm going to use this money either in an 8-week period or a 24-week period. And you had that amount of time to use up the money, which probably isn't hard, right? It's easy to spend money. But then, within 10 months of that period, you have to ask for forgiveness. And that's where we are today.
And again, it is easy to get the money if you qualify.
Mhm.
However, if you don't know the ins and out of the tax code or different criteria that were laid out by SPA, you
Mhm.
could be in trouble.
Well, the problem, Bipin, was that the tax law kept changing, and the SBA had continually revised, their FAQs. So it was a confusing time, and even today, there's still confusion out there.
Now, I don't think SBA has rolled out such programs of this magnitude in
No, Mm-mm.
in our past memory. I just can't
No,
recollect. What do you
Mm-mm.
think?
No. So the SBA has never rolled out a program this big. There has always been what's known as EIDL,
Yeah, yeah.
EIDL
Right,
loans
right. Uh-huh.
for those. Thank goodness we're not in a geographic area that gets a lot of disasters, but
Right.
for when there's been a disaster. But the PPP was a new program, huge program. It's like any new program, there's growing pains.
Right, right. And then the last pandemic we had was when none of us were around 100 plus years ago.
The
So
Spanish flu?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So 1917. I mean, I don't know anybody who was around.
Well,
So
I think there's a couple of people that are still
yeah,
around
yeah, yeah. Right.
here and
So
there.
yeah. So this COVID-19 has hit us,
Yes.
not only us but the world,
Globally. Globally.
and
Yes.
it has just ravaged world economy. And
Yes.
in the US, we have been very fortunate that government has tried to help as many people as they can.
hmm Yes. And
So
still is. And still is.
it is
And
absolutely,
people just need to understand what's out there for them
right,
and what they qualify for or what they don't qualify for. And right to so working with the government is all about compliance, so make
right,
sure you get the right docs in and make sure you're doing it on time. And yeah,
right.
so
And then I had read in the newspaper that some people went ahead and bought Lamborghini or
well,
expensive
that's
gifts using this money, and now they are
no,
in trouble. So you don't want to do
well,
that.
no, you definitely don't. So part of the SBA has just opened up a portal for PPP forgiveness. So if you received $150,000 or less as a PPP loan, you can use the SBA portal or go through your lending agent to get forgiveness. And that is a really simple process, right? But the problem, or what you might want to consider, is that, like the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, the SBA has the ability to audit you and audit your records. So it may look really easy right now. Hey, let me just go in and ask for that forgiveness, and the turnaround's pretty fast and all done. But you still need to have your records in the event you're audited, and it may be random, but you just don't want to be the person who gets audited. And then you're looking back, 5 years ago, okay, where are my receipts? So that's really important now to
Yeah.
make sure your paperwork is in order for forgiveness.
So bookkeeping is important, and
hmm
having a good tax advisor or a CPA on your side is equally important.
Yes, yes, and because there's a lot of interrelationships. So the PPP loan interacts with the employee retention tax credit. So if you're an employer who qualifies for the employee retention tax credit, you want to make sure when you're applying for forgiveness that you weigh how much you put in that you've spent for wages. Because if you're putting that wage amount in and it's in excess, it takes away from the credit, the employee retention credit you can receive. So it's a balancing act. So yes, you do need, I would say, right, someone who understands the tax rules as well as the SBA rules is important. You know, you want to
Right.
maximize your
Right.
money.
And then I want to tell our viewers that, Suzanne, you have so kindly offered uh, free consultation to people
Mhm,
who are having trouble figuring out how the PPP loans and compliance works. So they
mhm,
can reach you out on your website, which
mhm.
is SuzanneBarba.com. It is also at the bottom of the screen, and we also have your email there.
Yes.
So that is
Mhm.
the best way to contact you, right?
Yes. Yep. Yes. You know, email is probably best, but certainly on my website, there's you can book time on my
Right,
calendar,
right, right,
or there's a, you know, ask me,
right.
and then you could write in your info and I'll reach out to you, whatever works. And it's not just PPP, BIP, and you know, this is my act two, I will call it. You know, I had a career in the corporate world, worked for the big four, one of the big four accounting firms as well. And you know what? I realized they're, you know, working for these large companies and these uber wealthy people,
Right,
helping uber
right,
wealthy people. There's a lot of people who wouldn't have access, right,
right,
to the
right.
experience that I have. So now I left that corporate world and I started my own firm to help people. So, you know, yes, I offer you know, initial consultation for PPP, but regardless, if you have a tax issue, right? Schedule time. I there's no charge for that. You know, sometimes getting a notice from the IRS is so scary,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
scary.
Right,
And
right.
let me be the one to help you calm down and we figure
Absolutely.
out a
Yeah.
plan. What are we going to do?
Right, right, right. Yeah.
Hmm.
Having an expert, you don't go to a court without an attorney.
Right,
You
right.
want an expert on your side, no matter whatever you're doing.
Hmm.
So, and again, that the fact that you're offering free consultation is definitely a big
Yeah.
help to our
Yes.
community.
Uh-huh. Yes.
So we have 3 4 more minutes to go
Hmm.
over stuff. So let us just briefly mention people how the PPP loan. Uh, if you have anything more to add than what we have already talked.
So, you know, I just want to put another plug in for the advanced child tax credit because this is something else that came, it's corona related, right? Coronavirus
Right, right,
related.
right.
And suddenly people will be getting, you know, either deposits into their account or checks that they don't know why they're getting them. So I want to put a plug in for that. If you don't understand why you're getting money, you know, reach out to me. I'm happy to talk you through this, why you're getting it, and the idea that it's in advance. So there is a chance you have to pay this back, and
Oh,
better to
okay.
understand that
Uh-huh.
in advance, right? Then next year when you file your 2021 tax return and suddenly you owe money when you
And,
didn't.
and when you have spent that money that did not belong to
Oh yeah, who's gonna say, "Oh, I'm gonna hold on to it"? There's money in my account. Let me spend it. Yeah.
you. Same way, if a bank puts money in your account by mistake,
Hmm.
they have every right to come and get it back.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Because just because the money is in your account doesn't mean it is yours.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you, the Internal Revenue Service, I can't speak for the state agencies. I think they're doing pretty well, but the Internal Revenue Service still is not working because of COVID, like all the federal offices. And you cannot get in touch with anyone, or you wait on hold, somebody picks up, and then suddenly they drop the call. And I know of at least one person, one family, they still have not gotten their refund, even though we electronically filed their tax return back in March. They didn't get their refund. And yet I know another client that all of a sudden, right, there's money in her account and she doesn't know why. And there's like, and can't figure it out.
And last year when people were
Yeah.
trying to
So
file their
the government
yeah
offices
yeah right.
are,
And last year when people were trying to file their returns electronically, some were not able to be filed, so they had to mail it in, and that is also taking the longest time in
yes.
processing.
Yes. Yes. So if anyone who got my newsletter this month might have read the article that said that the IRS is behind by, I think it's like 35 million tax returns that they haven't even processed yet. So if you sent you anything by mail, it's going to be a long time before you get a response.
And
Yeah.
thing is, as you said, you cannot reach anyone to get an update.
No.
It's just a waiting
Mm-mm.
game.
Right. And even there's a hotline for tax professionals. And even the hotline that you call and they say, I'm sorry, but, it was something like, we're too busy for your call right now. Please try again later. Click. Like, oh my gosh, that's terrible.
It is, it is.
Unfortunately, that's the nature of coronavirus right now.
Right. So, do you have any message for our viewers other than what we have already talked about?
My only message is there's a lot of opportunity still out there for, business owners, especially, but also for families. If you have a question on what opportunity there may be for you from a tax perspective, please reach out to me. I'm happy to have that conversation.
And Suzanne, I would really appreciate you coming back maybe next
Yeah.
month. There are a lot of issues that I get inquiries about from our viewers and from my audience. One
Mm-hmm.
of them is what are the benefits of owning a home and uh, for people to get investing in real estate.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
so uh, there are a lot of benefits for owning a rental property.
Yes, there
So
are.
let us try to have you back next month to talk about
Mm-hmm.
that.
Sure, I would love to come back.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Great. And to our viewers, I would like to say that this is our weekly Small Biz Spotlight Show. And we bring in small business owners, professionals to talk about issues that matter to you. If you have any suggestions for a future guest or for a future topic to be discussed, please reach out to me. And I hope you'll join us again next Saturday at 10 o'clock when we will have another interesting topic discussing matters that are important to you. So thank you very much, uh, viewers, and we look forward to seeing you next week. And Suzanne, if you can just stay with me.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.